All right, here we go. I'm going to try and weigh in on the Geno Auriemma Dawn Staley. I don't even know what we call this because I got to tell you, first of all, when I watched it, I thought absolutely nothing of it. Maybe it's because I'm a little older, I'm a little old school. Couple of coaches after a big game like that where the officiating was clearly one-sided. You could be rooting for South Carolina if you want to. You're not going to say it. I couldn't care less who won that game. I don't like either team. I don't like either coach. But it was clearly slanted to South Carolina. So you had Geno, who was pissed, who was also pissed about something else Dawn did, which he has done before. And then you had Dawn getting baited and yapping back and talking about getting violent, which people seem to like, although I think that plays into a stereotype that if I were to say it, would be a problem. Wow. So I wanted to bring a little bit of a different perspective. And just as a reminder, for those of you who have been here a while, you know this, I'm sure. If you're relatively new to the channel, I don't know if I've talked about it in a while. I have no love for Geno Auriemma at all. Can't stand the man, in fact. So this is in no way a defense of him. This is calling out all the people who are piling onto Geno and acting as if Dawn Staley is a saint, both in this interaction where she is also at fault and past interactions, which we're going to talk about, for which these same people were completely silent. Look, I remember this, okay? I remember this. So make no mistake. Y'all know I did videos on
I
this.
saw where you said the WNBA, they're targeting Caitlin Clark. What do you mean by how she's being guarded or, enforced?
I think you and I both know the landscape that we live in today, both sports wise and non sports wise, right? We are in a red, blue. And if you're red, you can't agree with blue. And if you're blue, you can't agree with red. Whereas most things are in the middle. If you're a college player and you're a great college player, like Caitlin was, the delusional fan base that follows her disrespected the WNBA players by saying she's going to go in that league and tear it apart. There were actually odds on she's third or fourth in betting odds on being MVP at the WNBA. These people are so disrespectful and so unknowledgeable and so stupid that it gives women's basketball a bad name. Okay. So
Wow. Could he have been more wrong? I think this is one of those things that you say it didn't age very well. First, the personal attacks on her fan base just for being her fans and rooting for her and hoping. Hey man, if you're a huge fan of a player coming out of college, yeah, you're going to talk about how great they're going to be at the next level because you're pulling for them. You want them to be great. By the way, that third or fourth MVP voting thing, turns out she finished fourth in MVP voting. Geno made first team all WNBA. I'm just saying she did everything her fans said she would do. Yeah. Now let's get into a couple of things because there's people talking about Geno said something about a handshake, and Dawn didn't do it, and then other people are like showing a photograph of a handshake, but that was not the time. Again, I'm setting the scene, and then we're going to get into the reaction because, believe it or not, he had a point. This was actually last year where she did finally show up. This is the handshake they're talking about at a very specific moment, at a very specific place on the court. You can see they're getting the fans up, and Geno's doing this. Why? Because Dawn Staley is pulling a little gamesmanship and being late getting out there, and there she finally shows up. But this year,
Geno waited for a second handshake near midcourt after player
she did not show up for that handshake, which is what they were talking about. Now, here's what's interesting. I'm going to get one person. I called out Acho too. He always ignores me. I have to call him out a lot as an Eagles fan as well for my Philly channel. But and I called him out for this because, again, perpetuating stereotypes. I will beat Geno's ass, Dawn Staley said, and said he celebrates it. Yeah, Geno, Dawn is not the one to play with. So let me get this straight. If I have this right, you can see her saying it here, right? Yeah, there. It's it. Yeah, and people are praising Dawn Staley for saying that. Now, look, was Geno wrong probably in going at her the way he did? Yeah. Do I think this was anything more than a couple of coaches having a heated 4-second conversation? No. But don't sit here, because I promise you, if Geno said, I will beat Dawn's ass, we would not be celebrating. Oh, don't like the gender aspect? Okay. If Lisa Bluter said, I will beat Dawn's ass, y'all would not be celebrating. We'd be talking about a hate crime. And then I think I have, let me see. This I'm just going to play for fun, folks, because then I have to get into something specific about everything that's been going on. But this was yesterday. No, when am I doing this? I can't remember if this was Friday or Saturday, but you will enjoy this.
Well, for haunted by 2023. 2023, I'm haunted by that particular Final Four because of the players that we had and the season that we were having, and it got upended, and I never got a chance to play. I mean, I never got a chance to coach the freshies anymore, and I just thought that, and we won it the following year, but that particular group was pretty special, and I'm still haunted by it.
Now, you're just telling Geno you're going to beat his ass. You're talking about being from North Philly. You tough, you violent. And now you're bringing out the crocodile tears. In the Final Four. Now, here's what I want to bring up. Everyone went nuts over Geno. Everyone praised Dawn, holding her up like she is some hero. She is some icon. They forgot a few things, and here's why I want to talk about this. I have no problem with calling out Geno's behavior, although I think it's way over the top for what happened. But you also have to call out Dawn's skipping the handshake. Yes, she did. For those who showed a photo of them handshake at another time, yes, she skipped the ceremonial handshake. And then yes, what she got baited. You can say she got baited, which is fine, but she did get baited, and she got into it with Geno, and she's talking about committing violence on the man. And y'all are praising. And we know why. And I have proof, and this is why I bring this up. This is what really pisses me off. What I do not like about any of this crap. And you may agree or disagree on the instances and the examples, but I'm consistent with this. Where was this kind of heat? When Dawn Staley made a comment from Lisa Bluter into a race thing. When Lisa Bluter was talking about rebounding against South Carolina and talked about it's like a bar fight, i.e., that she's using a phrase to talk about how physical it is. And Dawn Staley went right into racism. That is a racist comment. She's talking about her players being violent and getting into racial stereotypes and all this other crap, and going after Lisa Bluter for being a racist, and going after Iowa for being racist. Was there ever an apology? There was not. Were all of these people who were piling on Geno and praising Dawn out there going after Dawn Staley demanding an apology at the time? They were not. Why? I'll leave that up to you. And then, of course, we had the BYU Duke volleyball incident at BYU, where, and let me see if this sounds familiar. So we'll see how consistent all of you are, because we know what we dealt with Caitlin Clark and all of the lies from Angel Reese, the one that triggered the investigation, to Alyssa Tommy Griner, to Dejanay Carrington, all lying about racial slurs being yelled at them during the game. To Brittany Griner saying not just at her, but she heard them be yelled at other players, multiple players. In this day and age, with this hyper focus on all of this nonsense, with everyone having a camera, everyone having at least audio, Never once has anything been proven. Duke volleyball player came out and said, oh, that fan in the stands yelled that N-word at me. Oh, yes, they did. Yet somehow, amidst all of those people, the only one who heard it was a player on the volleyball court. None of the other fans surrounding this person, none of the teams on the bench. I believe there were TV crews. None of their mics picked it up. Why? Because it didn't happen. Because once again, it was a hoax. But Dawn Staley, as she always does, jumped on it, got on her soapbox, screamed about racism, played victim, and said, you know what? That's BYU volleyball and Duke volleyball. But I'm going to get my South Carolina basketball team into this, and we are going to refuse to play the BYU basketball team. Then again, it turned out, investigation, nothing found because the Duke player made it up. Did Dawn Staley ever apologize for the Lisa Bluter incident? No, she did not. Did Dawn Staley ever apply for this nonsense with the BYU thing and sticking her nose in it and screaming about racism and saying she's not going to play the basketball team? No, she did not. Were all of these people screaming about Geno and holding up Dawn as this wonderful paragon of virtue out there demanding an apology from Dawn Staley? No, they were not. Why must we keep going down this stupid road? Man, I feel bad for the younger generation who don't know that we pretty much were post-racial for a while, believe it or not. I will never say, oh, look, y'all can always pick up individual incidents. This is not a utopia. We are human. We are flawed. It will never be that. Nothing will ever be perfect. But were we at a point where in the U.S., we basically weren't even talking about that stuff other than the few grifters now and again, like Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton? No, man. We were friends with who our friends were. Didn't believe that, by the way. We did not have friends because they might have a different belief than we do. No, it was actually kumbaya. But now it's all about being divided. It's all about division. It's all about looking at everything through the same damn spectrum and being hypocrites about it. Because none of these people demanded an apology from Dawn Staley. I have no problem with saying Geno acted like an ass. None at all. This is not about saying, oh, what about others in order to protect Geno? No, this is calling out the hypocrisy of the people calling out Geno. And we will never get past this crap as long as it continues to happen. And I, for one, am sick and freaking tired of it. It's exhausting. My God. Anyway, I could rant for hours about this. But I'm going to leave it there. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Appreciate you checking this out as always. Do me a favor. Smash the like button, subscribe. I truly do appreciate it. There's some sort of hype button on that if you watch it on mobile, which is important now as well. So, yeah, YouTube's exhausting too, isn't it? Anyway, I'll talk to y'all later.